Hello everybody, this is Gretchen Heidel and it is Monday night on our usual date. I'm live on Facebook tonight, or if you're watching this on the replay, or if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to my channel. I'm Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, intuitive, psychic medium, and clairvoyant. And I am here tonight talking to you about this big week that we have coming up. And welcome everybody who's joining me tonight. It is Monday on the 29th of June, and we're right at the end of June finally. So this is going to be this week coming up. We have another big week. I feel like I'm saying this every single week in all of 2020. Another big week, another big week. But yes, we have another big week. And so we have a lot to talk about. I'm just going to dive right into it. This week we are dealing with the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, and that's going to be taking place actually tonight at 1:46 a.m. Eastern Time. So technically that's in the early morning hours of June 30th. Or if you're on the West Coast, it's very late at night on Monday, the 29th. So it doesn't matter because it's active all this year, the whole year. So it's never really, they're always going to be conjunct. They're just coming into exactitude. They're kind of doing a motion that's like this. You know, one goes retrograde, the other one comes back, it goes back, it goes up, you know. And so they keep hitting each other 3 times this year. It's going to happen. It's going to be exact. Hey, Hans, welcome. Colette, Capricorn Sun, Cancer Rising. Love that. Hello, everybody that's joining tonight. And so like and share with your friends, because this is very important information. So when I've been looking at the different charts and the different things that are happening, one of the things that really is related to pandemics and epidemics and plagues and all kinds of crazy things is this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. In history, this thing has been associated with some of the worst plagues and the worst, times of pandemics in history. And so the last time they came together in exactitude was back in the 1980s, and that was when we had HIV came out, and the AIDS virus and all of that, if some of you remember during that time. And it was really scary because nobody knew how you got it, and it was like, is it from blood, saliva? Nobody knew. And so Jupiter and Pluto were conjunct then. And so they keep, whenever they come into conjunction with one another, there is this sort of propensity for sort of these things to happen, and it's not good. Luckily, it only happens every like 38 years or so, 40 years. And so we don't have to deal with this all of the time, but it is something that we have to watch out for. So even just times when it didn't produce some kind of mass epidemic plague, kind of thing, Jupiter and Pluto will make it a really bad flu season or some kind of a thing. So, hey Molly, Taurus Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Scorpio Rising, love that. Lauren, hello. Naomi, thank you for tagging somebody. Marianne, hello. Aries, Pisces, I love that because I'm an Aries Pisces. Iris is an Aries. Jill, she's a Pisces. So welcome everybody that's joining tonight. I love that you're saying hi, like and share with your friends, and we're talking about some crazy stuff here. So if you guys remember back when I first started broadcasting over the winter about all this stuff, I was talking about this pandemic situation, that it was not going to get better, and that the way that I felt the energy was almost like a lull in the summer and then a really bad resurgence in the fall. Now, I've been talking about like how Jupiter and Pluto had that association with pandemics in the past. And in fact, that was the case with the 1918 pandemic. I was looking at that chart today. And basically, the 1918 pandemic had 3 waves that were associated with it, the worst one being the second wave. And we have a similar situation here where Jupiter and Pluto are going to be forming 3 conjunctions. So the first conjunction was on April 4th of this year. Then the second one is tonight. And then the next one is going to be November 12th. right before the election. Very interesting. So, hello everybody that's joining. Welcome. And so I'm really talking about this pandemic epidemic, and I know that there's all kinds of stuff going around the internet of like, don't wear a mask and getting into hot debates with people and all that. I don't care about the politics. I just want you all to be safe, and just please be safe. And I've told everybody what's going to happen in the summer this year, and it's already happening, okay, is there's going to be a complacency. And everybody is just going to be partying like it's 1999 or something. I don't know what's happening. But everybody's going to just be stir crazy and going out and then coming down with COVID. And that's essentially exactly what is happening. So my prediction of what I was talking about, okay, is happening currently. And so there's a complacency, and there's this like sort of like, yay, COVID's over because everything's, resolved, which it's not. It's not resolved, not even in the least bit. So what's going to happen is we have it's blowing up again, okay, and that conjunction's coming, together again, and then we have a third conjunction coming in the fall, November 12th. So I want everybody still to be safe, and it's in Capricorn. Capricorn is all about big business and government and rules and regulations and restrictions and constriction. Speaking of constriction, let's enter Saturn, because Saturn on the next day, Wednesday, on July 1st, Saturn is retrograde and he's going backward into Capricorn. So for just a little while here, Saturn was in Aquarius, and I was so excited because there's usually a lot of sort of innovation. When Saturn's in Aquarius, there's usually a lot of innovation. Now, the last time Saturn was in Aquarius, again, was in, roughly 30 years ago. And that's when the internet was born, okay? Like the WWW, World Wide Web, that was basically when that came out. And so we had to return to the computers. So great. And we're going to continue doing that because Saturn is not done with Aquarius yet, not even by a long shot. So this gets a little confusing, but when Saturn kind of does this, it's like a windshield wiper. Okay. So he went forward into Aquarius for a few months. We got the taste of what that's like. Okay. That's new cycle. And now he's going to go back into Capricorn for the final, I call it the final pop quiz, to see, did we get the lessons? Did we get the information right? Did we, in our personal lives, whatever has been happening for you in the last 2 years, roughly, is the final pop quiz that we're about to experience starting Wednesday all the way until December. Okay, so Saturn's going to be in Aquarius until Capricorn until December again. So whatever you did in the last roughly 2 years, okay, is the final pop quiz to see, have you really gotten the lesson, the life lesson? Now, for everybody, that's different because it depends on where Capricorn is in your own astrological chart, and like, if it's touching any other planet or opposing any other planet or creating some shenanigans. That's what I always say. Saturn likes to create some shenanigans. That's your personal life lesson. But when I talk about the big picture of Capricorn, Capricorn being government, Capricorn being rules, restrictions, constrictions, well, geez, part of that time we were locked away. Part of the time we were doing the stay-at-home thing, and we shut down the businesses and we did all that because it constricted. And I basically have been talking about this for years. I've been talking about how this particular was going to cause some kind of a recession and some kind of a big, kind of problem financially. And that's basically what happened. So we're going to get another, unfortunately, look at that. But so here's the cool thing. The final pop quiz is never as harsh as the initial sort of energy when it first initiated into that new area of your chart in Capricorn 2 years ago. Okay, that was the hard part when we are in that. And then now we have to just work out, okay, we have to reel it back. We have to look at our finances. We have to look at our spending. We have to look at our, maybe even what we do like for a job, or how we live our lives, we have to re-look at it, because we can't proceed forward until we take that final look, like it's like an assessment, and just to see, okay, did I get everything? It's kind of like, okay, so let me give you an example. It's almost like when you pack for vacation. You ever pack for vacation and then you have to like do that final checklist, and like, did I get everything? Did I get the socks and underwear and like all the different stuff? And oh my God, did I remember my charger? And like all that stuff when you're about to go away on a trip. That's kind of like what Saturn's revisiting to Capricorn between July and December is going to be like. It's just like, did we get everything? Did we figure it all out? And we might have a little bit of whatever that initial like kind of life lesson was for you. You might have a little bit of a resurgence of that life lesson, just to make sure. It's almost like a tester. That's why I call it a pop quiz. It's almost like a tester where like the universe is like, did you really get this lesson? Did you really figure that out? Did you really like do whatever? And, so that's what we're doing. We're just kind of taking a reassessment for a few months. So we're back to having those 3/4 planets in Capricorn again. So we have Jupiter in Capricorn. We have Pluto in Capricorn. We have now Saturn's going back to Capricorn. And Athena Pallas, which Pallas is an asteroid. She's in Capricorn. She's been in Capricorn this whole time. Speaking of Capricorn, let's just keep going. So, next Sunday, okay, and that's going to be on Sunday, July 5th, so the day after 4th of July, we're having the full buck moon, and that's in Capricorn, 13 degrees Capricorn. So we have another thing with Capricorn. Capricorn is knees, teeth, skin, skeletal system. So just think bones. Capricorn is pretty much your bones. And so as far as health goes, so sometimes if I see a person with a lot of Capricorn in their chart, I'm like, oh, well, how's your knees? And they're always like, oh, my knees, they hurt, they're achy. I might have to have a knee replacement, all that kind of stuff. Arthritis is a big problem. Osteoporosis, any kind of thing affecting the bones, okay, is Capricorn. So that's a thing. So if Capricorn's in your area of health, that's good to know. I happen to have Capricorn in my area of health, so I'm just lucky like that. And I actually do have some bone sort of issues. I have degenerative disc disease in my neck, and I have some other stuff going on there. So that's Capricorn. Okay, so there's that. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, type below, because I'm not going to be on too long tonight because I'm still training my puppy. I put her in her timeout so that I can do the video without being so distracted. And so Capricorn. So if you have Capricorn in your chart, Cancer is the opposite of Capricorn. So there's that. So if you're a Cancer, I saw a few Cancerian folks on the broadcast tonight. You'll definitely be feeling this. If you're one of the cardinal signs, Aries or Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, or the cardinal signs, you're going to be feeling this, okay? Especially if you're an Aries too, because Aries, a lot of contentious planets are in Aries going to be squaring Capricorn. Now we're getting into who's going to be in charge. Aries wants to be in charge. Capricorn wants to be in charge. Someone's got to be in charge, but we can't have everybody in charge. So who's in charge? And we're going to see a lot of that on a global level in our leadership. It's going to be hardcore, and there's going to be this real push and pull and this sort of fighting going on. Now, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Capricorn helps us to be able to come up with a new system, a new structure. But it's almost like this whole year of 2020 is kind of like, if anybody knows about the tarot deck and basically the tower, that's kind of like what this year is like. It's the tower. Everything's kind of crumbling down. But here's the thing. Maybe we rebuild the tower and it's a lot better than the first time. Sometimes we need to upgrade the tower. Sometimes the tower might have been, leaky and the electrical needed to be redone and all that. So maybe we let it fall down and then rebuild again. And now, how do I say this? Without getting overly political, because I'm trying to give you guys like the astrological, like what Capricorn's like. Capricorn's like an old white Republican guy. I'm sorry to say that. Like, when I look at a collective, I'm not talking about individual, I'm talking about this collective energy. That's been the prevailing thing for the last few years, right? I mean, that's been the Capricorn thing. It's been that stodgy old man, kind of curmudgeon-y sort of thing. I mean, Capricorn can be that way. And so I'm not talking about all y'all, I'm talking about global. And so not even just in America, you know, there's been just other countries with leaderships that have risen up under this Capricorn energy that's like very conservative and very restrictive and all of that. So we are getting a final pop quiz on that. But the thing about this is that it's a pop quiz. So will they make it through or will they not? That's to be determined. Hey, Emily, Libra, Aries rising, love that. Yeah, Libras are feeling this, Aries are feeling this. All, you know, I'm telling you, it's just, it's a thing. So Aries, by the way, what kind of concerns me a little bit is Aries is the head. So we were talking about how Capricorn's bones, we have a lot of planets right now in Aries, and they're contentious planets in Aries. Aries is the head. So, you know, head stuff can be not good. Head injury, headaches, obviously strokes, aneurysms, Alzheimer's, like all kinds of stuff like that. It's also the blood. Mars in Aries is the blood. So Mars just went into Aries last Saturday. If you guys didn't see last week's video, please check that out either on my Facebook page or on YouTube. But Mars is in Aries now, and I'm wondering about strokes and clots, because COVID can cause blood clots. And it's something that I kind of been thinking about because of this Mars and Aries thing about blood clotting. So I already saw somebody posted, a friend of mine, that her husband had a stroke recently. So it's just, you know, that can bring up this sort of energy. So there's some contentious stuff coming. The good news is between now and August, roughly, this is like kind of our quiet time this year, and it's not really all that quiet, but this is the quietest it's going to get, is sort of like after we get out of this eclipse this week, and the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction and Saturn going back into Capricorn, and then the lunar eclipse full moon, it gets a little quiet. Just a little bit. Not like a long time, okay? But like 1 month. We have like kind of 1 month of like between July and kind of August of quiet time. And then we're thrown right back into the fire again in the fall. So what I'm telling everybody to do is to remain conservative to themselves, okay? To play it safe, play it cool. I don't want y'all at big barbecues and big parties and having a COVID event and whatever. I don't want you guys to do that. I want you to act like it's the first day you heard about this thing. And I don't want you to be paranoid, but I want you to be safe, because it's going to start to spread like wildfire. And I told you guys all the way back in the winter that there's going to be a second wave, and it's going to be hardcore. It's interesting because I intuited August 22nd being some kind of a big date. I thought it was going to be like a vaccine or a cure or some sort of maybe medication that can like lower the whatever, August 22nd of 2020. The only thing is, though, in my research, I was researching the 1918 pandemic just to see like if there were correlations and patterns of different things. That's what astrologers do. We go back in time, and then we start to see patterns of things. That's why anybody that has Pallas Athena in their chart predominantly makes a very good astrologer, because Pallas Athena is all about pattern recognition. So if any of you are my clients and you want me to look up your Pallas Athena, let me know. I already have to have your birth date in my system, though, because I won't have time to look up everybody's. But just to let you know, Pallas Athena. So Pallas Athena is pattern recognition. So that's what I was doing, is I was looking. Pallas Athena, by the way, is conjunct my sun. 4 degrees Aries, 4 degrees Pallas Athena. It's the most strong conjunction I have in my chart, and I am a full-time astrologer because I am really good at looking at pattern recognition of things. So basically, August 22nd in the 1918 pandemic was the height of the second wave of that pandemic, which was particularly deadly. I guess they had 3 waves, and the second wave of the 1918 pandemic was the worst wave, and it came on August 22nd. But for some reason, I intuited August 22nd as being a thing. Another thing that I had intuited, which was very interesting, I saw a little like news blurb going around today that I had gotten a hit one day, an intuitive hit, potentially that Donald Trump would quit before the election, that he would quit like the race or something, drop out. And I saw a little news blurb today that might be a possibility because he's not doing that good in the polls or something. So we will see. Okay, so Sarah, you're a cusp. Oh, Taurus and Scorpio rising. Wow, that's intense, girl. Dawn, day after your birthday, August 21st. I know there's like a lot of. Now, when I look at August 22nd on the calendar, I looked at that date coming up. For some reason, I got that was a big day in this COVID thing. So I don't know. August 22nd. I'm putting it out there. Being brave. Okay. There's nothing on the calendar when I look at August 22nd. I already looked, other than obviously the sun is going into Leo. Mercury is going to form I'm on the wrong month. Sun enters Virgo on that day. But that's basically there's minor things going on with the moon and stuff. The moon's going to highlight all this actually on that day. But so we'll have to see. Virgo is health, so maybe, I don't know, maybe that Virgo health will help us, to get a vaccine, a cure, or some kind of a thing. But yeah, we have to behave as if we're, adults and like stay inside. It's just something I think we have to do. Yes. So Emily said yes. Yeah, Dawn, day after birthday. Happy pre-birthday, by the way. So if you guys are watching, if you have any questions for me, now is the time. So cool thing, a lot of that is very doom and gloomy. I'm sorry. It's just how it is this year. I don't know. It's just a very intense year this year. But there is a bright spot. Okay, so tomorrow and Wednesday, Mercury is going to form a sextile with Uranus, and Sun will form a sextile with Uranus. So anybody a Taurus out there, because Uranus is in Taurus right now. So Mercury is going to form a sextile, and the Sun is going to form a sextile with Taurus. Both of those, Mercury retrograde is in Cancer, the Sun's in Cancer. So if you're a Cancer and Taurus, you're going to be feeling this. Now, Mercury is like the live wire of the zodiac. Uranus is kind of the live wire of the zodiac. So I call both of these the live wires of the zodiac. So yes, so it's lots of big energy over the next 2 days. We might have trouble sleeping. We might feel like we actually had an extra cup of coffee or something. Lots of ideas, lots of things. This Jupiter-Pluto thing, even though I keep talking about it in reference to the pandemic, it's also about, I guess at its highest form, it could be very, very high spiritual expansion. If you are a spiritual person, if you, kind of do any kind of work around that can be very high spiritual expansion. It can be, sort of faith, God, love. It can be all of that stuff. It really can be. It's just that on a global level in Capricorn, that's not how it's behaving, because Capricorn's so old manish, stodgy kind of feeling. That's unfortunately the sign that it's being funneled through. But on an individual level, I know people that are thriving in this environment. So it's not that it has to be bad for everybody. It's just that we're living under the wet blanket of Capricorn right now. And it does. It feels a little bit like a wet blanket, like restrictive. So yes. So Andrea said next eclipse is next weekend. Yes, on July 5th. And do you write your list if it's a new moon? That's a great question. Wonderful question. And so the full moon coming on overnight of July 5th, 12:44 a.m. Eastern time, is the full moon. So new moon is all about new moon manifestation, manifesting your dreams, manifesting your desires. Full moon is releasing. Okay, so we want to get rid of. What do we want to get rid of? Because we're at the full moon, the peak, the height, and then we lose light. Okay, from the full moon to the new moon, we lose light. And so we're releasing. We're letting the light go. We're letting the stuff go. Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry. Your husband has cancer. I will send you an extra prayer tonight. I really am sorry about that. Your birthday, wondering if something in health. Yeah, you might have to ask. I can't do like a health reading while we're here, but I'd want to look at your chart because that's something obviously very important. All the planets line up on 4th of July? No. Somebody asked me about that. No, I'm not seeing that. Capricorn is a wet blanket, Sarah. Yeah. Deborah, should I buy a house during Mercury retrograde? The general rule of thumb is no. Mercury retrograde is not an ideal time, especially since it's in the area of home and family. It's in the sign of Cancer this time. Look, you only have until July 12th. Okay, that's when Mercury goes direct. So Deborah, if you can hold off, it's a good idea. These things are not written in stone. But here is the thing. I'm an astrologer, but I also used to be, for 11 years, a real estate agent. And I secretly, behind the scenes, would watch time and time and time and time again people who signed the contracts under the Mercury retrograde. Oh, it was a nightmare. Usually those transactions were very hellish. They were very fraught with problems. The home inspection didn't go through. The appraisal didn't go through. Oh, call your lender. They need more paperwork. Blah, 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 blah. Like it was just like a very irritating transaction. It's not to say that the transactions didn't go through, because they did, but they were very problematic and difficult. So Deborah, if that answers your question, I mean, it's not a hard no. It's not like, you should never ever do that. These are guidelines. These are not hard rules, but they can be fraught with problems. The transaction itself usually doesn't go very smoothly. It usually has bumps and, it can be like that. So, let's see. So Gretchen, I can't say, okay. Your husband, Gemini, needs to make a big drive to bring his kids back from summer visit on Friday. Any thoughts regarding how to prepare for the drive? Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You have to kind of already sort of assume that there might be problems or there might be a thing. Like, I have flown during Mercury retrograde, even though you shouldn't fly I've flown, but I took precautions. Like, I packed very little. I only had one carry-on case. That was it. I didn't check my luggage in and stuff, because hey, if your luggage is going to get lost, it's probably going to be during Mercury retrograde. I also allowed for really long layovers, and I needed I think I programmed my layovers to be 4 hours long, and I needed every minute of them, because oh my God, at one point we got on the plane and they were like, oh, you have to get back off because the plane's got to be repaired. I'm like, oh my God, so during Mercury retrograde, so in other words, if it's a car trip, Gretchen, you want to just make sure it's probably going to take a little longer. You want to pack extra snacks. You want to, just have think safety, think about length of time, think about being relaxed, all of that type of stuff, because stuff can come up. Okay, so Emily said, I may have a job opportunity, wondering if I can take that on during this time. Again, it's the same type of thing. These are guidelines, not hard rules. If it's a great job, I want to do a card for you, Emily. If it's a great job, fine, yeah, perfect, take it on. But just remember, sometimes these things reverse by the end of the retrograde, and then all of a sudden the house that you put under contract, we decide we're not going to, it fails the home inspection. We're not going to go forward with it. Or we take that job and suddenly, this job sucks. I'm not going to keep it. Or, I get a lot of questions about dating during this time. So we meet a new person, we date them, by the end of the retrograde, that person's out the door. So things tend to reverse when retrogrades go direct, and 6 planets are retrograde right now. 6, not just Mercury, 6 planets. So things are going to be reversing all over the place. So that's kind of the thing of it. So Emily, let me do a quick card on your job opportunity. Interesting, new location. So obviously this is a new opportunity. Could be a new workspace, could be moving for work, it could be that you have to travel for work, but it is coming up with a new location. If you feel up to that, Emily, I know that you have some personal stuff going on. You know, if you feel up to that, then I would say that seems good. But see, now we're getting environmental awareness. That's interesting. I'm almost wondering if you should wait on that, Emily. I don't know. I'm feeling iffy on it. It feels like on some ways it's good, and it feels like on some ways it's not quite the right fit, if that makes sense. It feels like a really good almost. Maybe that's a good way to describe it. It's a good almost. Okay, so I hope that helps. So Andrea had actually asked me a question about what do we do on the full moon, and I wanted to make sure I answered that. So coming up, we have this lunar eclipse. So we've had now 3 eclipses in a row. Okay, so we have the strawberry moon lunar eclipse on June 5th. Then we just had the new moon solar eclipse on June 21st. And now we're going to have the lunar eclipse again in Capricorn. And that's going to be on July 5th. So that's the day before my next broadcast, so I'm covering it tonight, even though it's about a week away. I'm covering it tonight just so you'll be prepared. Now, on the full moon, burn or destroy your new moon list. You want to reread the list? Thank the angels, the universe, whoever it is you pray to. Thank them for bringing you what you wanted from the list. I always reread the list and then I burn the list, okay? You can shred the list, by the way. You can just release the list with love, okay? You don't have to burn it. I prefer to burn it. That's just that I was always taught that way, and you release the energy out into the universe so that the universe can take it from here, okay? Because remember, we don't, in our manifestation, which I went over last week, but if you try to dictate the how things come to you, that's no good. We want the universe to figure that out for us. We don't have to do anything. Just let the universe figure it out. So then on the full moon, you want to write down a little list, a tiny list of what you would like to release. Anger, frustration, debt, bad relationships, toxic friends, bad habits, smoking, drinking, eating too much, whatever thing. Anything you want to get rid of, release, clutter, any kind of thing like that. Keep the list really short, and you can either burn it on that night. You can do a real short list and burn it on that night along with the new moon list, or you can keep it on like a home altar or someplace that you can remind yourself, I release. You want to keep it short because you just want to release all of those things. Hey, you want to release your husband's cancer, right, Sarah? You want to release that cancer. Let it go. He doesn't need that. We'll be done with it. So again, any kind of thing like that. You want to release fear. You want to release whatever it is you want to release and get rid of. So you want to put that on the list, but you don't want to keep dwelling on it. Like, you want to give it some power, but you want to, yeah, okay, Renee, I want to release being single. I like that. You can do that with your list. Okay. That's a great thing that you just said, Renee. Because on the new moon list, you can say, bring me my partner, bring me my husband, my wife, my future love, whoever it is, bring me that person. But on the full moon list, you can say, I release being single. You can work it both ways. So you could say, I release, smoking or drinking or a bad, unhealthy thing. And then on the new moon list, you say, I want to lose weight, and I want to get health. I want to gain health. You could say, I want to lose weight on the release thing and gain health on the new moon thing. You can work it 2 ways there. You can get it from both angles. So I like that. I like that you said that, Renee. Thank you. Jane Moonwolf, great reminder. Yes, don't worry about the how. Exactly. Sarah, yeah, all those things. Oh, Marianne, what deck is this? This is Doreen Virtue Fairy deck. So this is one of my favorite decks. I don't know if you can find it anymore, but so I'm going to do a collective, okay, card for everybody. And if anybody has questions, please feel free to post below because I'm going to jump off. I don't always answer every single question, but I try to do a few here. So I'm going to do one card. What does everybody need to know? What's the most important information people need to know tonight for this coming week? Okay, this week ahead, what does everybody need to know? Oh, parenting and children. Woo, parenting and children. You know, we are in Cancer season. Cancer Sun, Cancer Mercury retrograde in Cancer. You know, we got a lot of Cancerian energy. That's home and family, home and family, home and family. And parents and children. Yeah, we want to keep our kiddos safe, but also our parents too. I mean, you know, our parents are getting older and all of that stuff, depending obviously on your age. But parenting and children, that's going to be a lot of the sort of energy of this week. And, you know, it's a thing. Kirsten is driving out west starting tomorrow morning. Woohoo! Again, take your time. Be careful. Have, you know, just like have like some supplies with you and stuff and backup and all of that. We have a bunch of people driving this week. So you want to just make sure that you're allowing enough time, being careful, all that stuff. Kirsten, I know that you can do some good energy work around that. That would be awesome. Oh, Gail said, niece has her baby due on July 11th and my sister's flying there on the 6th, which I'm concerned because of COVID. Ooh, she's not quarantining and she's a Virgo. Virgos are usually pretty fastidious people. Oh, that's too bad. I don't know what people are thinking or possibly not thinking. I don't know. You gotta quarantine. All right, you got some that fell out. Oh, interesting. Trust your intuition, gal. You know what I have really come to feel with this whole COVID stuff and all of 2020? This is like one big gigantic lesson in boundaries, isn't it? Like it's one gigantic lesson in boundaries. What feels good, what doesn't feel good. It's this whole thing. It's really, really having to say, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. You know, or whatever. It's having to say no. It's having to assert ourselves. It's having to have those boundaries. Like, it's tough. It's really tough. This whole 2020, especially if you're a person that's not good with boundaries, it can be real tough around all this stuff. Gail said her oldest daughter's first child. Yeah, but she's got to be safe. I mean, my goodness, can't be putting people at risk. Is she safe? Is she gonna be safe? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, Gail. I'm trying to get you a good card here, but it's not, you know, I'm just saying, Gail, be honest, you know, trust your gut. Separate her out if at all possible. I mean, I really think it's something that, you know, we have to do. Cindy, yeah, okay. Trust your gut. So, I think the baby's going to be fine though, just to let you know. I feel like the baby's fine. Oh God, this card just tried to flip out again. Trust your intuition and be honest with yourself. Okay, Gail, that's all you can do. We'll put a protective bubble of love and light around. And they're being very good in the hospitals. That's the best thing. They are being very good in the hospitals. It's just, you know, at home, you know, when we're not, we all have to sort of self-govern right now. And it's tough, you know, doing that. It's hard, you know, because people don't get it. They don't understand. They just want to give you a hug and, oh, I haven't seen you forever, you know. I can't tell you how many people I'm out with my puppy and everybody wants to see the puppy and they're all like, oh, puppy. And they like dive in and I'm like, stop, please. No, you know, like it's tough, you know. You're not 6 feet away from me anymore, and now you're trying to like kiss up on my puppy and give me germs and whatever. I don't know. It's weird. So we have to just kind of be not rude, but a little bit like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with that right now. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going around like that. So parenting and children is the big card that came up this week. And so we need to be able to connect with our kiddos, connect with our parents, our loved ones, even if they're deceased or crossed over. Full moon times are often portal times of the veil gets a little thinner and we can connect with our deceased loved ones, our deceased, Saturn, Capricorn and Saturn both is usually like associated with fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, male authoritative figures, any kind of thing like that. Parenting and children, card meaning a positive change is occurring for you in the area of parenting. An unexpected occurrence will herald a happy outcome between you, parent, a child, or both. The affirmation associated with this card is I have happy parent and child relationships. So if you have any kind of toxic stuff in there, this might be a time that it bubbles up. So we want to have this affirmation. I have a happy parent-child relationships. I allow my heart to open up so that I can feel compassion and love for all members of my family. Woo! Sometimes that's hard. So we want to be able to connect with our families, and we are in Cancer season. Cancer's home and family, and that's the full moon. The sun is in Cancer, 13 degrees Cancer. The moon is going to be in Capricorn, 13 degrees Capricorn, and they're going to oppose each other. Okay, so Cancer's home and family. Capricorn is work, CEO, work. Okay, and so basically those two are opposing each other right now, and they're causing an eclipse to happen, which is a rebooting of a computer, a reset. Something in our family, something in our work life could reset right now. We could, kind of work on the reset. So we want to make sure that we're, just open. I always say pay close attention to whatever is happening during these eclipses. Again, June 5th, we had the lunar eclipse. On June 21st, we have the solar eclipse, and then we have the third final eclipse. Then we're going to have 2 more eclipses in the fall. Okay, so this will be the last eclipse, by the way, in Capricorn. Just as a side note, what determines each year what signs the eclipses are going to be in are the nodes of the moon. Okay, so the nodes of the moon are now switching into Gemini and Sagittarius. So from now on, for the next 2+ years, all the future eclipses are going to be in Gemini and Sagittarius. So if you guys have any of that heavy duty in your chart, that's the next upcoming eclipses. Eclipses will be highlighting that Gemini and Sagittarius axis. This is the final one. For the last 2 years, all of the eclipses have been in the Cancer and Capricorn. So this is the final one. My mom is blowing me a kiss. Mom, I have to tell you, this particular eclipse is going to be directly on your moon. Your moon is 13 degrees Capricorn, and the eclipse is going to be 13 degrees Capricorn. So buckle in, because this one's going to be, it's going to be a lot. So I hope that helps everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, for liking and sharing this post. It means so much to me. It helps. And if you guys want to have a personalized astrological session with me, please let me know. I do astrology, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and a psychic medium. And I also do intuitive medical scans as well. So I hope all of that helps. And thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you all next week, Monday night around 9 p.m. Bye.